Les Concorda. And first of all, Minister, I want to make it clear that I couldn't support the legislation that you're trying to bring in. I think it's draconian. Where is it going to end? Or are we going into dictatorship in this country? We always said that if the most vulnerable, if we vaccinated them, we got down to the 70s, the 60s, the 50s, and another at 40s at the moment. And when you look today at the stat that 12% chemotherapy is basically down 12%. So there's people that unfortunately are suffering from cancer that are either being neglected or they are not going to hospitals. That's going to be a problem in the next year and maybe sooner. When you see people needing different operations, be it cataracts or whatever, it's all being kicked down the road, and all in the name of COVID. So there's going to be consequences. Mental health, especially with young people, a major problem. And then I saw yesterday the recovery plan, the billions that we're going to throw at X, Y, and Z, and I heard that we were going to take off like a Ferrari. Well, I'll tell you one thing, the young people around this country won't take off like a Ferrari because they can't get a license this minute. They can't even get a theory test. And you know, it's probably suiting some in certain offices that they don't have to be doing these theory tests. But it is absolutely scandalous. At the moment in the agricultural sector, Minister, you cannot get a youngster that's able to drive a tractor to bring in silage. There are fathers and mothers around the country reliant on the youngsters doing a certain amount of tractor work. And you cannot get a simple thing to apply for 35 to 40 questions. The big hoo-ha, 15 months, and we're talking about bringing in an online system. And that's parked at the moment. Gone, it's booked out. Anyone that got an offer of a theory test a month ago that they were going to be done in the next few days, now the emails are out again, no, we won't be done. Does anyone understand in government that the likes of agricultural work is summer work? Do they understand that silage is made from now for the next month? That it's not October or November when your powers are going to be, well, you won't even have to look at them if they keep going the way that you're on about going. And then, as Deputy Healy-Rae said there, we talk about, you know, we're opening up the country. And I've heard so many people criticise people for congregating or drinking or whatever they were at in different parts of the country. But we're telling them that it's going to be an outdoor summer. Tourism Ireland is promoting it. And do we all realise that we were all young once? Would we like to be basically locked up for 15 months and we young, that you couldn't go out to a nightclub, a disco, go to meet friends? It's not normal what's going on. And thankfully, in my opinion, from now on, you should be able to do without these powers. And the one line, Minister, I'd say you crossed, and regardless of what religion we talk about, I'm not talking about any specific religion, but here in the Dáil, you were told that the churches or priests wouldn't be affected. But the day that guards went into a church, we crossed a fine line in this country, in my opinion. I think that you need to rethink. Government has to take responsibility. We are now constantly saying, well, such an expert said this and such an expert said that. We get reports from every other country. We don't seem to do any here, but we rely on every report from every other country. And everyone else is making the decisions for us, so long as, do you know what, if it goes wrong, well, we can blame someone else. We won't have to show that they blame ourselves. Government is for governance. Government is for taking decisions. Not people that basically you can listen to everybody, take their view into account, but then make your decision. And Minister, can you do something with the Department of Transport to help these youngsters, their mental health, earn a few pounds, help their fathers or mother, help the contractors. And we're talking about a recovery. We're talking about putting loads of people back to work. Well, the first thing you have to be able to do is be able to drive a car or a tractor before you can go back to work. Simple as that, especially in rural Ireland, because there is no other bus, or there's no other way of getting to work. And when we talk about amendments 1, 2 or 3, and we've amendments in as well, it doesn't appear that you're going to accept any amendment, first of all. You, as a minister, are deciding that basically you're going to have lock, stock and barrel. You can write your SIs as you feel like, toddle along. That's not good for a country. A country should be done by democracy, that it comes into the door. And if you need it after when this is running out, and in a week or 2 or 3 or 4, if something crops up, I'm damn sure that every politician in here, as they were before, in fairness, were willing to always come in, give their tuppence worth, and do it democratically. But this idea of SI is going, you know, it's a backdoor system. I'll always remember the Habitats Directive, our now President signed it in through an SI. And when that's not debated in the Dáil, and when it doesn't go through the Dáil, you can do anything with an SI. I think we've gone too far. If you listen to people out there, and I'm not talking about people that are against everything. I'm absolutely not talking about that. What I am talking about is most people that you talk to day by day, they will tell you the time has come, the hour is here, that we have to start letting go. We don't know at the moment what we're in, to be quite honest about it. Are we in level 5? Are we in level 3? Are we in level 4? This will be opening next week, and the other will be opening next week, and the hairdresser is open. Or are we gone away from the levels altogether and gone to a new different thing? I would ask you, Minister, to rethink where we're going in this. Because the ordinary Joe Soap on the ground, if you listen to them, there's a lot of common sense in them. And the amount of calls, even I got today, from youngsters that are so desperate to earn a few pounds, they won't get the PUP, Minister, because you see, they weren't working before this. And they're trying to put a few quid together. But the major problem is, for the farming community and for the contractors around the country, that they are left with machines standing because of lack of people. And unless we tackle things and make sure it's sorted out, all it is bluster. We were going to bring out a system going to do it online. It took about 5 or 6 months scratching the head about that, wondering what we do, and then it came out, and I think within 2 days, all over, booked out in 2022 or 2023. Will you just do something that will work, something that will help those people, instead of bringing in more draconian? Like, when is it going to end this crack of bringing in powers? We're not in a dictatorship, we're not communists. We believe in democracy. We've got to work with people. And I would ask you, Minister, to rethink this whole bill, because I believe, and thankfully, things are, you know, I believe that we're getting, as more opens, the country is coming back. I spoke to a couple today, and yes, the EWSS was important and is important, but why didn't you go to a bank to do something constructive and say to them, well, if somebody is on the EWSS or their employer is on it, don't refuse them their mortgage. I know several people that have been approved for a mortgage, and because they're on the EWSS, they won't get the mortgage now. Their life is on hold, they don't know where they're going. They're a year, 18, 15, 16, 17 months, and they don't know where they are going. And by the way, just for good measure, while that's gone by, the price of their costs have gone up probably 40,000 in the same house. So more money to borrow, and maybe go back to the bank and be refused for the lot. So for God's sake, we need to listen to the people on the ground. And they will learn us more than anyone of what we need to do. No one is reckless. I'm not talking about recklessness. I'm talking about people that have common sense, that have adhered to a lot of stuff over the last 15 months. And think of our youth as well, because it's not natural that youngsters are in under your feet who Saturday night, 16, 17 and 18. You'd be gone early every Saturday night or Sunday night when you're young, wild and free. And we have to start helping those out, or if we don't, there'll be a revolt against us. Thank you.